Hello and welcome to Hughes of the World. I'm the Hughes, and this is the world. This behind me. This is Comoros behind me, the islands of Comoros. That's the Friday Mosque there in Moroni, the capital. Let's break this thing down. But first of all, I'm going to say hello to Context and David Hoado and Charlie and Mad Monk and Duke Vengeance. Thank you for tuning in. We've also got number 3. Hello, I'm so bored, says number 3. 3 spelt as in, I'm not a number, I'm a free man. Not the number 3, as in 3 is the magic number. It's a really irritating song. Yeah, you hear it on the radio every bloody day. And then it finished the end of Spider-Man with the De La Soul version of it. Was it De La Soul who sang it originally? And they used to have it on BBC 3. It's just really annoying. And it sounds like an advertising jingle. Anyway, I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, Yoni, yeah. How you doing, man? Okay, so we have a whole Comoros to explore. Mysterious, outrageous, and enchanting, apparently. Kind of place where you can drop off the planet for a while. And indeed, some people have been known to do that, including me. I did that. It's remote and it's undeveloped. It's got little in the way of proper resorts and stuff like that, especially compared with nearby Seychelles or Mauritius. When I say nearby, 1,000 miles away, but you know, it's kind of nearby for the region. It's in the Indian Ocean. It's like everywhere's a long way away. It is rich in Swahili culture. It's a devoutly Muslim country. The inhabitants come from the stock of Arab traders, Persian sultans, African slaves, and Portuguese pirates. It's not exactly famed, but it's known for its white sand beaches, which there's no one else there. You kind of have the place to yourself a lot of the time. Jungle treks and also the giant bats. In fact, the giant bats that they have there are called the Livingston fruit bats, and they've got wingspans of 1.5 meters, which is insane. It's described in The Lonely Planet as a lesson in patience, humility, and resilience. Indeed, I'm not gonna dispute that one. Funnily enough, I've got these Lonely Planets here. Obviously it's not gonna be West Africa because it's over on the east side of Africa. But Comoros isn't in these books. It's not in Southern Africa, and it's missed out of the Africa book as well. Yeah, so I need to buy a copy of Madagascar and Comoros, although Madagascar's in that, so it's a bit pointless now, in order to make sure I have the whole collection of the world according to Lonely Planet. Context says, I'm not a number, I'm a free man. That's fair enough. From The Prisoner. Alexis says, hi, Graham. And Adam says, yay, another place featured heavily in the excellent book Man of the World and available in all good bookstores. I said all good stores there. Yes, Adam, you're absolutely right. I know, and the bad ones as well. John says, Comoros did surprisingly well in the African Cup of Nations last month, even though there was one game where they had to play a left back in goal. Yeah, they beat like Senegal or something, and they did really well. Was it Burundi? I can't remember. Pineapple Boy says, good evening, Pineapple Boy. Okay, so what I'm going to start with today, I don't normally start with the geography, but because Comoros is a little bit of an unknown quantity, I guess, I'm going to just jump in with the map, okay? So I'm going to head over to the map of the world, and there you'll see Africa, and you'll see a little pointer. That pointer is Comoros. So let's zoom in, shall we? You'll see that it is kind of halfway between Tanzania and Madagascar. In fact, I got a boat from Dar es Salaam, which is here, in Tanzania, over to Moroni in Comoros, and then over to Madagascar. And then I came back. I went to Reunion here, then I went to Mauritius, then I went back to Reunion, then I went back to Mauritius, then I went back to Madagascar, and then I tried to get up to the Seychelles, which are up here. And I couldn't get to the Seychelles. So I headed back to Africa, and I took a boat from a place called Mahajanga around here in Madagascar, and it took me to Moroni, where I got stuck for 3 weeks on these islands. Okay, so here are the 4 islands of Comoros. The Comoros archipelago is made up of these 4 islands, and there's also little islets and stuff, but these are the main 4 here. There is a Grand Comore here. There is also Anujan, and finally there is Mohi. And they also have their original names, which are, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this, Gazija for Grand Comoro, Mowali, oh, that's all right, Mowali for Mohei, and it's NDZW. This is how you spell this word. It's NDZWANI. So I'm going to say Nzwandi for Anjouan. I'm going to use the French names for these islands because it's just easier for me. Anyway, so that, yeah, it's actually written as the, oh, there's no D in this. In my spelling of it, I've got a D between the N and the Z. But they're the three islands. Now, if I zoom out a little bit, you've got Mayotte over here. Now, Mayotte is technically part of the archipelago, if you're talking about strict geography, but it's not part of the country. This is a French island. It's a département of France, and it is not part of the Comoros chain, no matter how much the government in Grand Comore would like it to be. But yes, so this is Comoros Islands, and also known as the Comoros. It's one of those countries that actually has a "the" before it now and again. It's got a lot of autonomy now. The president cycles between each island, apparently, but that was supposed to be the case. But we'll get into that, why it hasn't actually worked out that way. It's supposed to cycle around, so if the president comes from this island, in the next election, the president's supposed to come to this island. But things have changed in the last couple of years, so I'll get into that later. As you can see, these islands, and you might see this better if I go to terrain. Dun, dun, dun. You might see that, you can sort of see this, it's got the sea floor marked on it, and these were all old volcanoes. What are you doing? Why did you do that? Why did you do that, Google? Google, I didn't tell you to do that. Google, will you go back to the terrain, please? Google, go back to the... Oh, well, I don't know why it's not... Oh, there you go. Thank you. You can see that these are volcanoes. They're all volcanoes. There's actually 4 volcanoes, I think, on this island, or maybe it's just one big one in the middle, and then there's a peak here, and there's a peak here, and there's a peak here. There's a big volcano on Comoros, which I climbed, and it was a terrible slog, and I got really sunburnt. It's called Mount Cafthala, and it's one of the most active volcanoes in the world. It's erupted 20 times in the past century alone. But yeah, as you can see, these are volcanic islands, so effectively they've been pushed up from the ocean floor by volcanoes. They're not that old in a geological timescale, but it means that these islands don't really have any natural ports or harbours or somewhere you can put a port or a harbour, which makes things very difficult for people living on the islands. Because it means that if you can't have a port to come in, what has to happen is you have to put a boat out in the water. Let's zoom in here. I'm going to try and see the port or one of the ports. You have to put the boat out leave the boat out in the water, and effectively bring barges out to the boat, put a container on the barge, and then bring the barge over to the dock, and then you have to use a crane to get... Oh God, there's Mount Cafthala there. Wow, that's really cool. You also have to get a crane to take the stuff off the barge onto the shore. So it is a bit of a faff. Okay, there's Moroni over there. So you can see the volcano. I just want to zoom in a little bit on Mount Cafthala here. Can you zoom in any more? Ooh, wow, it's got little lines there to show you little isobars. Not called isobars. But also there used to be a lake in the middle of Mount Cafthala, and in 2005 there was an eruption that destroyed it. Well, it made it evaporate. The entire lake evaporated all at once. Yeah, very active volcano. And over here, you can see the remains of an ancient volcano, I guess. And I guess that's that's the Friday Mosque there. Is that the Friday Mosque? Yeah, the Mosque de Vendredi. And if I zoom in here, why can't I see people and places and stuff? There we go. Right. You can see, I was hoping you could see the port, but you can't even see it. Is that it there? That can't be it. That's not a port. That's not a port. This is a port. This is going off my memory of being there, like, what, 12 years ago. So, Mosque de Vendredi. Right, I had to go past the mosque and then down to the... Oh my God, is that the port there? No, it can't be. That can't be the port. Oh, it is. It is. It is. That's it, I think. Oh my God. Is that the main port of the nation? That's ridiculous. No, that can't be right, Graham. Must be digging in the wrong place. But it does say the Friday Mosque is there. But it's not close enough to the water for me. I'm just going mad in my old age. But I seem to remember the port was it was close to the mosque, and it was really, really, really small. Like it just had one jetty, and that was it to get food in for an entire nation. So anyway, yes, I think I'll zoom out again because I don't think you're that interested in the ports and things. Comoros, says David. Evening from somewhere in France. Ooh, you're not on Mayotte Island, are you? If I zoom out as well, just so you can see the other islands here, over on Mosque, over here, there's loads of nature. It's the only national park is on Mosque, so if you want to walk through the jungle, that's the best place to do it. If you want to walk up a volcano, Gran Comoro, the main island, is the best place to do it. And it's also, Mosque is also a significant turtle nesting site. So the local villagers used to eat the turtles because they're delicious, but now they're involved in scientific monitoring and turtle protection in order to promote eco-tourism. So there you go. And and the time zone, if we zoom out, go on, let's zoom out loads. The time zone is actually, could do with faster internet. BT used to talk. The time zone is actually GMT plus or UTC plus 3. Okay, so they're 3 hours ahead, and it's actually Eastern African time that they have there. I've got the feeling that Madagascar might be 4 hours ahead, but I'll have to check on that. Okay, right, that's it. That's it for the map. So you know where it is now. You know it's 3 islands. That's the main thing that you need to know about Comoros, I guess. All right, we're done here. Let's go home. No, I've got things to say. Nice flag. Yes, thank you. I made it myself. Just like the Canary Islands, but independent on the other side of Africa. Yeah, quite similar, yeah. And obviously not developed at all in any way, shape, or form. And we'll get into that as well. So here's some things that you need to know about Comoros. If you're going to look smart, someone will ask you about Comoros. So first of all, it's made of 3 islands. It should be 4. Well, they think it should be 4, but it's 3. They would like it to be 4. It's not. It's 3 plus 1 that is owned still by France. They were all part of colonies. They were all colonies of France once, and they got independence in the 70s. And Mayotte said, "Not me. I don't want to." I've actually got a postcard from Mayotte somewhere. Just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna have a quick look. See if I've got it. Shuffling through stuff. No. I've told you about him before, but I've got my favourite troll in the world. He's a guy called Matt, and he travels around the world. He goes to places that I didn't go to on my Odyssey expedition. So he's been to Mayotte because I didn't go there, and he sends me postcards from all these places. And he's got from Mayotte, which I was going to show you. Maybe I should have those postcards like to hand. Be a lot smarter, but I thought they were on a pile of papers over there, but they're not. Okay, so they were nicknamed the Perfume Islands, and they're the world's largest producer of the rare ylang ylang flower, which is in lots and lots of perfumes. It's also nicknamed Cloud Cuckoo Land, as in coup d'etat. It's had 20 coups since 1975. The president of Comoros narrowly escaped an assassination attempt in April 2020. So it's not like things have settled down an awful lot. They really haven't. Something interesting about Comoronians is the fact that they may spend their entire life's earnings on weddings. They have what's called a petit marriage, or small wedding, which is under Islamic law. And then they have a grand marriage, or grand wedding, which is basically nothing short of a spectacle that can span up to 2 weeks. Such weddings can cost upwardly of $40,000, and as Comoros has a GDP per capita of $1,402, could take a long time to save up to get married. Let's put it that way. So I've got Duke Venture saying, someone having a coup doesn't sound like a bad idea right now. Yeah, but there's a coup and there's a counter coup and there's a counter coup and there's a counter coup, and it just keeps going on forever. So it's best not to. It's best to try and stick to the democracy. As Winston Churchill once opined, it's the worst of all possible systems apart from all the other ones. In fact, the Comoros Islands are some of the poorest countries in Africa, or the poorest country in Africa, and more than 40% of the population live under the poverty line. Half the population is 15 years or under. Comoros has the worst income inequality of any nation in Africa, whereas Burundi has the least amount of money in Africa, and GDP per capita of less than $400 per year per person, GDP per capita. The Comoros has got 3 times more than that. However, the income inequality is a lot more marked. Comoros is one of the least visited countries in the world. Not as unfrequently visited as Sao Tome and Principe, but still, it only receives about 28,000 tourists a year. That was from the last figures I could find from 2017. One of the interesting things about Comoros that you'll see if you ever go there is you'll see the women, a lot of the women wear these masks. They paint their faces and they wear a traditional Mizindanu paint mask, which is made of sandalwood and coral. And the reason is that it's a sunblock, it exfoliates the skin, and everyone else does it, so you might as well do it. So it's very common to see women with this makeup on. But as I discovered when I was there, the Comoronians don't really like to be filmed or having pictures taken of them. You do have to ask permission, which is fair enough, only being polite, but you should expect them to say no, because a lot of people feel, you think, oh my God, you've got this face paint on, it looks amazing, can I take a photo of that? And they're like, oh, I'd rather you didn't. So you don't really want to put someone into a situation that they feel uncomfortable in. So I hope that all those gorgeous National Geographic pictures, I hope the photographer of these pictures actually asks for permission to take the picture. Although, if you don't ask for permission to take someone's picture and then they use that picture in their social media or something, you can sue them, which I think is really unfair, but it's something I'll sort out when I'm in charge. Meaning never. Okay, so the capital is called Moroni, not to be confused with the angel Moroni, who is the angel for Mormonism. I'm thinking of doing a film about Mormons called I Moron, and it's Moroni backwards. No, it's not. It's the I at the beginning that they said at the end. Anyway, the name of the capital, well, I've got one source saying it means heart of fire, and I've got another source saying that Moroni means at the river in Shingazija, which is the language spoken on the island of Gran Comore. So I don't know who to believe, but Heart of Fire sounds like a really cool name. Like that's kind of cool, isn't it? They should call it the English name, shouldn't they? Well, what's the name? What's the capital of your country? Oh, it's called the Heart of Fire, baby. Oh yeah, sounds good to me. The flag was adopted in 2002. Its stars and colours refer to the 4 islands of Comoros. There's only 3. So each colour refers to a different island. So the yellow is Mohai, the red is Anajan, the blue is Gran Comore, and the white is Mayotte. The people of Mayotte don't want to be part of Comoros, for reasons we'll see in a moment. The chevron, the green chevron on the left side of the flag, or the sinister side, is representative of Islam, green of Islam. If you look at the flag of Saudi Arabia, a lot of people think it's black. It's not. It's green. And the flag of Libya just used to be green. That was the whole flag. It was green. And then they changed it. So it didn't, because that was kind of Gaddafi being crazy. Yes, indeed. Oh, also, the 4 stars refer to the 4 islands as well. But finally, the crescent moon refers to the meaning of the name of the country, which comes from the Arabic word for moon, which means Qamar. Which sounds like Qamar. And basically, they became Comoros, and that's where they got the name from. So it means Moon Islands, which is nice, isn't it? Perfume Islands, Moon Islands, Cloud Cuckoo Land. That's like a fun place. The population is about 870,000, although about half of that number live abroad, and half of them live in Mayotte. And Comoros is because it's such a small area, but there's a lot of people live there. It's one of the most densely populated countries, not just in Africa, but in the world. It's the second smallest country in the whole of Africa. The people who live there are 97% Comor. They're a mix of African, Arab, Malay from Malaysia, and French. The religion, as I've said, is Islam, and it's Sunni Islam, not Shia. And the government is, well, it's hard to say. It's democracy, I think. So they say. I don't know if it's really a democracy, but there you go. The currency is the Comoronian franc. The GDP per capita, as I said earlier, is 1,400 American dollars per year. It drives on the right. And the economy is, I've put it in my notes, is in the shitter. It's not doing so well. For example, Mayotte has a GDP 9 times that of Comoros, and lots more people live in Comoros than they do in Mayotte. Plus, it has free healthcare and education, and so that's why so many people from the other islands of the Comoros chain, geographically speaking, tend to go over to Mayotte and tend to send money remittances back to their family on the other islands. The food, which we're going to come on to, there's a thing over there. You know, when I was talking about the fact that there's no real way to get stuff in and out. There's no major port, possibly because of the geography and the way that the coast is. And partly just because of lack of funding, I guess, to build a port. I mean, it wouldn't be easy, but I guess it could be done. So a boat could come alongside, a big boat could come alongside, instead of having to sit out in the water and unload containers onto barges. But it's not been done, and it's a bit unfortunate because only a small amount of the land, not a small amount, but less than 50% of the land of Comoros is arable. And so they are reliant entirely on imported food. And so, yeah, if it's hard to get in terms of just getting the boat in, it's very hard to get all the food in that people need. But Comoronian food is pretty good if you can afford it. It is a surprisingly expensive country. One of those countries where you think, well, people don't have much here, so things must be really cheap, and they're not. But the Comoronian food will always have, well, not always, but it's largely made of different spices such as vanilla, cardamom, cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg, etc. Seafood is massive in Comoros, one of the things that it can actually grab for itself out the sea. And the national dish is langoustine à la vanille. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's basically lobster in vanilla. And another Comoronian dish a traditional Comoronian dish, is mitso'ola, which is a stew, which includes plantains, which are savoury bananas, and coconuts and seafood or meat. The national drink of the country, well, it's a Muslim country, so it's not alcoholic. It's probably coffee. People drink a lot of coffee there. Shaped like a pickle, says David Huada. What's the background? Venice? No, this is Comoros. You can see the boats here. You can see like the boats have got water in. They're full of water. But this is where I was trying to find where the port was on the map, but I couldn't see any boats in the water or anything. But that's the Friday Mosque. The Mosque de Vendredi. Moroni is in Comoros. The angel is for Comoros. You've been stuck there. Are the beaches any good? Well, actually, not on Grand Comore. They weren't that good, to be honest with you, on Grand Comore. It's quite a new island. It's quite geologically new. So the beaches that were there, I don't remember them being that particularly great. But on the other two islands, apparently there are white sand beaches because they're a lot older and a lot nicer. Apparently, it takes a very long time to make a white sand beach, because I think that the process is that all these rocks have to be eaten by parrotfishes over the course of millennia, and then they poo out. They eat like rock, and then they poo out fine white sand that has been bleached. And eventually, if you get enough parrotfishes and enough time, they will type out the entire works of Shakespeare. Or something like that. Anyway, so the National Anthem is, well, it goes like this. Shall I play the National Anthem? You would like to hear the National Anthem. I'm sure you would. I would like to hear the National Anthem too. It is called Udzimba wa ya Maziwa, or the unity of great islands. Complete independence. Nation rises up. Because of the faith we have, this our Let's always have devotion to love our great islands. These runs are our one blood. Comoros are our one faith. On these islands we were born. On these islands we were God always help us. That's nice. It's actually a national anthem that actually says to people that they should love the world. There you go. It sounds Hawaiian. Yeah, it's very mellow. It is a very mellow, that's what Joni said. It's a very mellow national anthem. But there you go. Okay, so yeah, that's it for the sort of overview. I'll say that again and better. So that's it for the overview of Comoros, and now we'll delve into the history of the place. Now, according to mythology, a genie, a spirit, dropped a jewel which formed a great circular inferno, and that became the Cafthala volcano, which created the island of Gran Comor. King Solomon is said to have visited the island, apparently, or at least Gran Comor. The first human inhabitants of Comoros were believed to be of Malayo-Polynesian descent, or Austronesian, arriving around the 5th or 6th century AD, or Common Era CE. The earliest reliable recorded phases in the phases of the history of Comoros was between the 8th and 10th century, during which there were several small settlements on the island. And in 933 AD, we have a recording of Omani sailors referring to the island as the Perfume Islands. From the 11th to the 15th century, trade with Madagascar and merchants on the Swahili coast of southern Africa and the Middle East flourished, and more villages were founded and existing villages grew. Many Comorans trace their genealogies to ancestors from the Arabian Peninsula who arrived during this period. The Comoros were a part of the Swahili cultural and economic complex, and the islands became a major trading hub between Madagascar, Tanzania, and Mozambique, and as far up as Kenya as well. The first Europeans known to have landed in Comoros would be the Portuguese in the late 16th century. The islanders were well placed to take advantage of their needs, initially supplying ships on the route to India. And later, the English came and took slaves for plantation islands in what's now Reunion and Mauritius, but they were called the Mascarenes at the time, the Mascarenes Islands. So they're on the other side of Madagascar. So if you're coming from Africa, you'll hit Comoros first, then you'll hit Madagascar, and then you've got Reunion and Mauritius. Reunion is still part of France, whereas Mauritius is an independent nation. Although there was no formal attempt by the Portuguese crown to take possession, a number of Portuguese traders settled, but by the end of the 16th century, the local rulers were getting a bit pissed off with them and began to push back, and they began to defeat the Portuguese and any Dutch people they could find. In the last decade of the 18th century, Malagasy, or people from Madagascar, Malagasy warriors started raiding Comoros for slaves, and the islands were devastated as crops were destroyed and people were slaughtered, and also people were stolen, taken into captivity or fled to the African mainland. It's said that by the time the raids finally ended, there was only one man remaining on the island of Mohai. Just one. Moheli, sorry. Which is like, wow, just horrible. The islands were repopulated by slaves from the mainland who were traded to the French in Mayotte and the Mascarenes. On Grand Comoros, it was estimated in 1865 that as much as 40% of the population consisted of slaves. French settlers, French-owned companies, and wealthy Arab merchants established a plantation-based economy that used about 1/3 of the land for crops, export crops. After its annexation, the French converted Mayotte into a sugar plantation colony. In 1908, the islands were unified under a single administration and placed under the authority of the French colonial Governor-General of Madagascar. And in 1912, just 4 years later, the colony and the protectorates were abolished and the islands became a province of the colony of Madagascar. So the first time, really, they were bunched together as a place. You know, Comoros. Before then, it was kind of like the islands did their own thing to a big extent, but in 1912, they became the province of Comoros. In 1961, Comoros was given autonomy, and following a 1974 referendum, the islands gained independence in 1975. However, one island, you'll never guess which one it was, it's the white one, Mayotte. One island voted to remain with France by 63.8%. Well, 68.3% for. The next 30 years were a period of political turmoil, to say the least. Let's say 40. The next 40 years, the next 47, the next 48 years, Jesus, were of a period of political turmoil. In less than a month after independence, President Ahmed Abdallah was removed from office in an armed coup. By February 1976, confirming that vote with an overwhelming... in February the next year, the island of Mayotte had another referendum to see if they'd changed their mind. So basically, Comoros had got independence, and in the first year of independence, in the first month of independence, it had a coup. And then it said to the one island that didn't want to be part of this, do you want to be part of us now? Which, yeah, it's like asking the Irish if they'd like to have a Brexit. It's like they're looking at Britain and going, no, how about fuck no? So, the second vote in February 1976 in Mayotte resulted in 99.4% of the population voting to remain a French protectorate, a part of France, a French territory, I should say, not protectorate. My God, way to win them over, Comoros. So, as I mentioned earlier, the island is sometimes referred to as Cloud Cuckoo Land. There were major coups or attempted coups in 1975, 1978, 1989, 1995, 1999. There were 2 attempted coups in 2001, one in 2008, and another one in 2013, and an assassination attempt in 2020 on the president. In May 1978, the president was overthrown and arrested in a successful coup, and the military regime was installed. The coup leader was the French mercenary called Bob Denard, whose name will come up a few times in this, who became the island's strongman as head of the presidential guard. The former president was killed later that month while attempting to escape. Bullshit. Abdallah returned as president, the original president returned as president, and he was closely linked with the mercenaries who formed the presidential guard. He ruled for 11 years until November 1989, when Abdallah himself was assassinated in the presidential palace, and Bob Denard, the French mercenary, was suspected of doing it. Hey, I'm not saying allegedly. Don't come and get me, Bob. Yoni said 99.4%. No, would stop asking. But no, boy, 99.4% remain. That's like Gibraltar. It's also the amount of DNA that you share with a chimpanzee is 99.4% of your DNA you share with a chimpanzee. That's mad, that, isn't it? Okay, so moving on. In March 1990, Saeed Mohammed Doha won the first democratic presidential election that they've ever had. And then 5 years later, there was a coup, surprisingly, against Doha, led by Bob Denard, the French mercenary, which was foiled by the French military. So, French mercenary, foiled by the French military in someone else's country that France shouldn't really be in. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is what I talk about by European interference. Not Europe as in the EU, but countries in Europe just love to interfere. They just can't let it go. They just cannot let it go. And the French are probably even worse than the British for this. Just let it go. It's like the song in Frozen. Let it go. Let it go. So in 1997, Mohéi and Anujan, the other two islands in the chain, they broke away from Grand Comore and declared themselves independent countries. Claiming resentment of dominion by the main island, and they asked France to recolonize them. This is true. In 1997, they said to France, "Can you recolonize us? We've declared independence from Grand Comore. We're not part of Comoros." France refused. France said, "No, we're not going to recolonize you," and they went, "Oh." So then they rejoined Comoros in 2001. Anyway, in 1999, just a couple of years earlier, the army seized power, and it was led by a guy called Ali Assoumani. Now, Assoumani has become a bit of a name that you're going to have to hear a few times on this as well. In April 2001, there was a coup on Anjujan Island. So it wasn't a national coup, it was just on Anjujan. And then in September the same year, there was an attempted coup on Grand Comore. And in December of the same year, there was another attempted coup on December the 19th by a group of French mercenaries who landed on Mohéi. So in 1 year, all three islands, each individually, had a coup in 2001. Yeah, cloud coup. They love their coups. In December of that same year, on December the 23rd, a referendum called for a new constitution, creating the Union of Comoros and giving the Union of Comoros, and it gave each of the islands a large measure of autonomy and provided for a series of elections. And each island got its own president. So you had the president of the union, and then each island had its own president as well, which is a bit confusing. And then in 2005, a new law shared out the jurisdiction between the union and the island after 3 years of conflict. So, you know, the sort of the coups that they had in 2001 didn't sort anything out. Oh, and in April 2002, Assoumani, who was the coup leader of, I know you're going to start losing track here, but he was the coup leader in 1999. So he had been de facto leader of the country for 3 years by then. And in 2002, he actually became president. He was elected president, apparently. And then in May 2006, Ahmed Abdallah Sambi was elected as president during an election seen as crucial to resolving the ongoing crisis after years of conflict. And he succeeded Assoumani. Okay, cool. So that's Assoumani out the picture, right? Wrong. In March 2008, the president of Anjouan, Beskar, is overthrown in an African Union-backed coup. Oh my God. You're keeping up with all these coups. And then in May 2009, Comoronians voted in a referendum in favour of a constitutional revision under which the term of the federal president will be extended and the powers of the presidents and of the islands reduced. So they stopped being presidents and they became governors instead, which made the whole thing a lot less confusing, I guess, for people turning up on these islands. And I guess they're like, right, we're going to have a coup. Let's take out the president. And they're like, but there's lots of presidents. There isn't just one. Okay, that's confusing. Let's just have one president. So when you're having a coup, you know who to go for. In May 2011, the new president, a guy called Do E9, he was elected in late 2010, and he was in May 2021. He became the first Moelian from Moeli to rule the entire union. And the idea was at the time that they were going to revolve around the three islands. So if there was a guy from, or it could be a woman, I suppose, but it's always a guy, isn't it? There was a guy from Grand Comore who was president, then the next president would be from Anujan, and then the next president would be from Moheli. It would go around like that. But that's not how it ended up working out. In April 2013, there was another attempted coup. Around 15 people, including foreigners, notably one Frenchman, were arrested. And in 2016, Assoumani, the general Assoumani, who was the general in 1999, who became president in 2002 until 2005, he was elected president again. And he's still president. He's still president to this day. In 2018, he arranged a constitutional referendum that approved the extending of the presidential mandate from 1 5-year term to 2. What do you do when you're in charge of a country and you don't want to give up power? You change the constitution. So that's what he did. And then in 2019, he was re-elected. Assoumani, General Assoumani, he's not a general anymore. He's a civilian apparently. Was re-elected as the leader of Comoros. And the opposition claimed that the election was full of irregularities. Indeed. Duke Vengeance says, meanwhile in the UK, indeed. And then in 2020, President Assoumani's party, the Convention for the Renewal of Comoros, or the CRC, took an overwhelming majority in Parliament, meaning its hold on power was strengthened. It took 17 out of the 24 seats of Parliament. Woo! So there you go. So, just a quick one to say about getting there and away. Something I usually forget to talk about in this show. So I've got it. I've got a template now for all the things I need to talk about. Getting there and away. It's dodgy as fuck. Good job. Good job getting to Comoros. There's an airport, so you can fly in, I guess. But I took a boat. From Dar es Salaam to the island of Comoros. If anyone's read the book, it was the Shishiwani 2. It was a horrific experience of my life. I've had some bad experiences in my life. People who I've known have died, and I was in jail a couple of times in Congo and in Comoros. Sorry, not Comoros, Cape Verde. I'm only ever arrested in countries that begin with the letter C. Canada, watch out. But yeah, so it was a horrific journey. It was horrible. You got to read all about it in my book, Man of the World. It's very funny. Then I got to Comoros, and then I went over on another boat from Comoros, which wasn't nowhere near as bad, Comoros to Madagascar. And then I went all the way over to Mauritius, and then I eventually got back to Comoros. And I thought, well, I was only here for a day last time, and then I got on another boat, so I'll only be here for a day, maybe 2, maybe 3 days, in Comoros. And by this time, I told my then girlfriend Mandy that I'll meet her at the pyramids at Christmas, right? Because I thought, well, I've got like 2 months to get there. That's going to be easy. 2 months to go, through Tanzania, Uganda, Burundi, Rwanda, Kenya, Ethiopia, Somalia, Eritrea, Sudan, Egypt. Yeah, I could do that in 2 months, and I thought I could, but then I ended up spending 3 weeks in Comoros. I was actually stuck there for so long, it was kind of painful. So yeah, if you want to get on a boat from Dar es Salaam or to Mombasa in Kenya, or to Zanzibar or Mahajanga in Madagascar, there are boats, but they are so dodgy, it's painful. Although, on the boat that I got back from on the boat that I got back from Comoros to Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, they did actually play every single Bond film in reverse order, which I thought was really cool. So the whole trip took about 2 days, and they managed to get, I don't know if they got all the way to Dr. No, but it was from the second Daniel Craig film. So it was from Quantum of Solace backwards, I think. There you go. Why the 4 stars? They are the 4 islands, but there's only 3. Hey, don't blame me. Tuvalu means group of 8, but there's 9 islands in Tuvalu. Don't ask me. Okay, so now we're going to get a little bit of a feature presentation. Dun, dun, dun. Now, I'm aware that last time I did this, it wasn't so successful. When I was doing some footage of mine that I had accumulated over the years in over the years when I went to China, and I know that a few of you said, Graham, what are you doing to us, Graham? What are you doing? You're skipping through everything. It's painful. It's painful, and I have to agree, it was a bit painful. So I'm going to try and do that a little bit less now. But I'm going to bring you. Oh! I'm pressing the wrong things. I'm going to bring you some footage of me getting into Comoros, and hopefully this will not make you feel too seasick. But yeah, here we go. We're going to have a look at some of the footage that I got. Here we go. So I've turned the volume down here because it's a bit... Okay, so that's coming into the port there.
Okay, so it's 12 minutes past 7 on Monday the 23rd of November, and we are just coming into port in Comoros.
Okay, I'm just going to turn it down because I know that noise is annoying. Right. Oh, that's better.
Should have been here 2 weeks ago, man. I'm an idiot.
Right, sorry.
Okay, I'm back in Comoros. I'm in Moroni at the moment, the capital city of Comoros. I've just spoken to Commissioner Maddie, and he's the guy who was helping me out last time I was here. He said, oh, there's no boats to Africa, no boats. And then after he stamped me in, he said, actually, I think there's a boat. So I'm going to the hotel, the Pension Fader, where I was last time, dropping my bags off, and then I'm going to come back here to the port, and we're going to go to the shipping agents to find out when the next boats are leaving. So good on you, Commissioner Maddie.
I've kind of entered spoiler territory here because I told you I was stuck there for 3 weeks. So it's obvious that I didn't get on a boat very quickly.
When Commissioner Maddie said that there were no boats in at all going for Africa, oh, my heart sank. I thought I was going to be here for weeks, but he says that he might have something for me. He says that he might know a boat that's leaving soon, so hopefully it's just going to be a few days here. Hopefully, not a few weeks. But I'm going to be really kicking myself for not just staying on the old Dal Madagascar. Then again, the Dal Madagascar was going through pirate-infested waters, so... There's the Moroni, the boat. Oh, and... Well, I just received some news that I could have really done without. There is no boat for a week, so I'm going to be stuck here for a week. And then, just to make matters worse, the only boat that's leaving in a week, if it leaves in a week, is the goddamn Shishiwani. Yeah, that boat, the one I came on. Oh, nightmare. So looks like I'm going to be sleeping on a foam cushion. Oh God, again. I've got to wait a week for it to get here, and then I'll probably be waiting a week for it to leave. And my hotel is so expensive. It's €16 for a grotty little room. It's full of mosquitoes. No shower. No shower. I mean, like, no shower, not even in my room. There's no shower. There's another room that has a big bucket of water, and you pour the cold water over yourself. That's your shower, and it's €16. To put that in comparison, I was paying €10 a night to sleep on the beach in the big room in Mahajanga, and I was paying €10 for that. To put that in comparison, I was paying €10 to stay in Mahajanga in a big room with hot water and lobster on the menu. Oh well. This is going to be the longest period that I've spent without visiting a new country since Cape Verde. It was the 31st of October when I was in Mauritius, and it's going to be the 1st of December before I actually leave here. So it's going to be a month and get back to the same. Oh, well, I'm settling down to my new life in Comoros. I'm going to be here probably for a week, if not 2. In the meantime, it's really raining outside. Look at this. Like, it's properly teeming down. Like, seriously. Check this out. This is real rain. Whoosh! The roads Focus. The road's turned into a river, look. Blimey! It's raining! Hello. Oh, well, I'm glad I didn't go up the volcano today, aren't I? Woo. Not only do none of the cash machines work, which is a bit of an arse, but also my mobile internet doesn't work. To get a SIM card in most African countries, you go to a guy on the street, you give him $1 and he gives you a SIM card. Here you have to register with your father's name and your mother's name. Then you have to go to Western Union, transfer your money, which is about €15 for your SIM card. Take the receipt back to the office, it's a separate building, and then put your money in, and then you'll get your SIM card about half an hour later. And then it won't work for 2 hours. And then it won't send text messages, because the text message sensor number in the settings of your phone is different from the actual number that's in the phone. So you have to put a different number in yourself. How are you supposed to know to do that? I don't know. Anyway, another problem is none of the cash machines work here, so I've got to change my euros that I've got into local currency. Do you think there's a bureau de change on each corner? Is the hell? There's only one place in the whole bloody country where you can change money, and that's the bank that's about 2 miles away from my hotel.
Stop fucking whinging, Graham.
Unfortunately, this road that links me to the bank is a one-way street, so I can't even get a taxi to the bank. So I'm gonna get some bloody. And I asked someone, is it pronounced Comoro or Comoros? He said Comoros. True story. Tuesday, the 1st of the 12th.
Shishiwani. There you go. It's a bit of top there. Shishiwani. Mardi. First of... I honestly thought I was going to have to get it back.
Sorry, stop talking maybe. Okay. Okay, I've just been to see Commissioner Maddie, who's the guy who's been helping me out at the port. Top bloke, by the way. And he assures me there's a Tanzania boat in at the moment, and he says it's going to leave in the next 3 or 4 days, which is great news because the Shishiwani isn't leaving for a week today, if I'm lucky, and it's the Shishiwani. I don't want to take it. So there is another boat there, that's a Tanzania boat, and Commissioner can get me on it. Job would be a good one, especially if it's in the next 3 or 4 days. That would give me maybe I'd leave on Friday or Saturday. Well, I'm getting there.
It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Okay, let's skip through. I'm going to skip through a little bit of this because there's a lot of it where it's just me complaining about stuff. That's actually me.
Tallest active volcano in the world. Job's a good one.
Moroni life there.
Spoke to the guy at the port yesterday. He said there might be a boat this weekend leaving for Tanzania.
Okay, it's getting boring. Stop going on about the boat.
Tomorrow is Eid, which is a Islamic holiday, and so all the shops will be open. You'll be able to buy any food or drink for a day, probably. His name is chauffeur, which is quite interesting. He's not a chauffeur. He's a guide. His name should be Guide, but back to Africa sometime next week. But you know what boats are like in Africa. This is the bathroom.
Alright, I was going to show you the bathroom.
Work. You have to sort of fill this bucket here with stuff and found in the toilet. Okay, so that's the toilet. Lovely, delightful. And now this is the just come into the bathroom. Okay, this is the bathroom, and that was the bath.
Yes, there is a ticking noise, don't worry about it.
But as you see, there is no running water here or
Barely see that.
No
There's
water.
a light on the camera.
There's only this. So you have to sort of fill this little jug up with water and then... So you have to fill this little jug up with water from here and pour it over your head. It's freezing cold, it's lovely. For these beautiful non-ensuite facilities, which are made just even better, by the way. You know, you've got spiders' webs up here, and it's all just very potty.
I was so annoyed about how much it cost. I was like, I've stayed in dorms for less money than
Called Cafthala. No, sorry. I should say that. It's a bit more.
Oh, this is where.
Tell you how we get on.
Okay,
Only down there.
This is going up the volcano.
It's just sort of hanging around. Dry. We'll have to see. Oh man.
That was a hell
Gotta
of
go
a trek.
more water. I hope. Going for about 2.5 hours. I'm just gonna do my legging instead.
I seem to remember feeling really grim.
No, it's a big one. Whoosh! Oh, crikey. Another 3 hours of this. Chauffeur here.
Wow, that's up in the caldera, which had erupted only just a few years earlier. Look at that. You just couldn't see anything. Yeah, pretty desolate, isn't it? Looks like a Joy Division video. Anyway, just skipping through. Ginger Winger mode. Yes, Jeremy. Indeed.
So fast. I went up to the crater way. My name's Graham Hughes. I've got a habit of erupting every few years.
The ticking noise is really annoying me. That was my camera. It decided to tick a lot. This is coming
Sea
back
level.
down.
It started from a height of 300 metres. Gotta move on. It's in a forest.
Oh, what was that?
Egg. This isn't good. Down here though. It's viewed out of the volcano above us. You know, Graham, will you stop stopping? 2009, I'm on Mount Cafthala in the Comoros Islands. My name's Graham Hughes, and this is the Odyssey.
Yeah, that was a little intro to my videos back then.
This is Perks.
Anyway, so that was.
5 minutes down the road. We just had the sun cream on. Normally I have my head to the sun and my hat on and I don't get burnt.
Really sunburnt.
But this is why I don't go to beaches. What's the point? You know, to half an hour on one, I'll burn to a crisp. Told you. I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. Delightful place. Look at all the litter.
Okay.
Thank the maker. On somewhere with beer.
That's sunburn. Sunburn on my face. I'm so sunburnt here.
My first beer in over a week. It's like prawn crackers. So I'm going to jump in the swimming pool and cool down. And my sunburn's that bad that I'm thinking that when I get into the swimming pool, I'm actually going to... I'm just bliss. 2-0.
Bad.
Look at my face.
Whoa, look at that.
That is pure sunburn. Look at that.
Obviously, I've got cream on it.
I look like Clint Eastwood once he stumbles out the desert in The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Actually, I look a bit like Zelda from the Terrorhawks.
This is all the stuff that got cut out of the TV show, by the way.
Let's go.
I think they just did a montage. They went,
I can't understand how loud this woman is next to me. She's not in my room.
Someone's speaking really loud, complaining about it. I was going to say that, yeah, I think they just had a montage for the whole of Comoros instead of me wanging on about not being stuck there. It was kind of like, I think they used one scene where I was on a beach saying I'm stuck here and I can't escape, and they went, yeah, that'll do. But I'll
pay for my hotel.
God,
this shit room that I've got here.
Do you ever stop complaining, Graham? Do you ever stop complaining? 30-year-old Graham.
There's no couch surfers in Comoros. Well, there is one, but he's on another island. Man. Well, I think don't know what happened to the Shishiwani. It seems to have disappeared in time and space. I asked the guy where it was, and he said Anjan, which is the other island. I don't really understand what it's doing there, but maybe I should get a boat to Anjan and then get on the Shishiwani. But who's to say it's actually going to go? I can't believe I missed the boat to Dar es Salaam by a day when I got here. It left the day before. I've already been here now for a week and a half. I haven't been to a new country in over a month. and I don't think I'm going to make it to Egypt for New Year, which I was really hoping to do. It looks... Now, this poster here wouldn't last 5 seconds in the UK. Someone would draw a big cock in his hand. Well, I would anyway. I want to go home. Oh, they've gone. The old Moroni. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Quite like Nepal.
Yeah, they're having the coup. It's a coup. It's a coup. Look, they're having a coup. That's good. Let's have a party. Might be a coup. Are they dancing or are they rioting? It's quite cool though. Just had some high definition version of it. There is a high definition version of this video, but I'll show you very soon. Anyway.
And this is the other way.
Blah, 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 blah.
The one that was staying in there.
Blah, 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 blah. Oh look, this is a resort. I was like the only person there. I used to use it to abuse
I
the
said
internet.
at the time that it was a miracle that I got to Mauritius so quickly. I mean, actually, from Tanzania to Mauritius, it took about 10 days. Getting back, it's taken over a month. Good.
Yep.
And then back. I'm so glad I got out of Moroni. Crikey. Just I can afford 50 of them. Giant vampire bats.
There you go. That's the giant bats. The giant bats of Comoros. Although actually,
I was in a taxi last night,
boxes,
leaving the hotel.
I don't know.
So I found myself in someone's house. I was in the taxi yesterday. So, it's not working anymore.
That's the
Wow.
next sign.
This looks like it's the next boat. It's changed again now to Wednesday. It's Saturday today.
So basically,
It's almost another
I'd go down to the port every
week.
day, and they had the names of the boats that were leaving.
it's
And when they
ninth.
were leaving.
There's no way I'm going to get up to Egypt within a fortnight, so it looks like I will be spending Christmas in Ethiopia or somewhere on my own.
Funnily enough, I did spend Christmas in Ethiopia, but not on my own.
Okay, should we go and see? Oh, yeah.
Almost
He's
like
helping
I
me out.
predict the
Yaya
future.
let me stay at his last night, so I'm going to be keeping at his for the weekend, which is substantially better than the pension fader, I've got to say. So we're just in the port at the moment, trying to find a boat out of here sometime this year,
Like context.
literally. And but now I'm heading over to change some money,
Why are there so many
get my
coup
beard
attempts?
shaved, smart myself up a bit, and I'll head back to the big swanky hotel and abuse their free internet facilities. That was Yaya there I was with. What a nice chap. He's really sorted me out this weekend. Means I can stay at his, which isn't going to cost me a fortune. I had to hand over €200 to the guy who owned the crap hole that I was staying in before. It's just a short taxi ride down the road
€200.
to the swanky hotel. So I'm going to go back there and use their internet. Sorry.
Unfortunately, it was like $100 a week, well, £100 a week. See, here's one of the beaches that I went to. Not great. This is on the island that I was on, Grand Comore, the main one.
Okay. So it's Sunday morning here in Sandra. It's my friend, Panja. He works in the hotel, the swanky hotel. The hotel is Sandra. And I kept at his place last night. It's very, very generous. And we listened to Bob Marley. Yeah. Ooh. And who's the dude from South Africa?
Lucky Dube.
Lucky Dube. Lucky Dube. That was very
Lucky
good.
Dube
Very
was
good.
a South
So tell us
African,
about what's all this here. What's going on?
reggae
I
artist
can
who was shot dead. Actually, in a-
answer
I think he was out
what
shopping
you
or
were
something
saying that
2 years
we
ago.
are.
A sad story.
It doesn't finish yet, and we hope that in 1 year, each and everything finish.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think you saw about the-
job.
as you know that building mosque costed a lot of money,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's not easy to build in the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. My name is right now I'm with my friends. We have this opportunity to come here and find some or search something that we didn't know before.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Found you as the top bloke.
Yeah. Lovely little village of Itzandra. And these are the fishers.
It's Sandra.
These are the little boats. Oh, this isn't Itzandra. Today on, can't go anywhere. And so I'm going to walk over to the hotel. I'm going to stay there for the day. And then we're going to walk back here tonight because it's only round the corner to the hotel. The hotel's over there. Just see it.
It's a swanky
sticking out
hotel
over
I couldn't possibly afford to stay in.
Okay, I'll see you then.
Okay, so I'm just going to skip through a load of stuff. That was Fandra's place.
But I'm staying at this this house here. This is Fanza's house, and we're going down to the docks now and hopefully buying a ticket, and I should be leaving tomorrow. Can't see very well. You're silhouette. That's better. This guy over here. This is Keith.
How you doing?
Say hello, Keith.
Hello, Keith.
He was the half-naked man.
Ginger Islands. He got in touch with me.
Yeah, you were using my facilities the other day. I hope you enjoyed them.
I was. So what are we doing today?
Today we're going to go see the entire island of the Grand Comoros.
Oh, excellent.
Get the best view possible.
How big is the island?
It's I think this is the largest of the islands. There's 4 of them, and this is the largest. And this is where the capital city of all the Comoros is found.
So, moving on. Right, so this was a little tour of the island that we did.
Not a geologist.
Not a geologist yet.
He hasn't put me in Java.
I did this with a few
I hate to say it's true,
Westerners.
but yes. Japanese people do like to take photos.
Yeah, that's very racist, Graham.
Abilities of
Lots of people like to take
scurrilous things
photos.
you might have to say about us when we're not looking.
Good stuff. Okay. Whoa, whoa, ostriches.
Has he got a little one
I'm
attached
just
to it?
skipping through this.
Oh, hello, little lemur dude.
Oh, there's a little lemur dude.
What are you doing?
Oh, he's so cute. Oh, lemurs are so cute.
Coming down to visit us. I think you'd like
They really mess up the autofocus on your camera though.
coming to visit. You guys are like little pets, aren't they?
Cute.
Need something else in England. Anyway, that was our lemur, Rambo, there. Bye,
The
Rambo.
lemur's called
Okay,
Rambo.
we're going off now to see some more volcano-y stuff, I think.
Okay.
Comoros. But yeah, we're going through eucalyptus forest. I'm supplying them with good places to go, and then letting me sleep on the floor.
Just basically spent the last week I was there, like kicking off people's floors.
3 weeks. Oh well. Okay. December. I am still in Comoros.
Still in Comoros.
She's from England, and she's going to be doing something very exciting next week. She's getting on a wooden boat that's 2,600 years old. Yeah. Yeah. And she knows all that she knows about sailing is what she's learnt from this book. Yeah, at all. You can't get any more.
She was taking a replica of a Phoenician vessel around Africa.
What if you have a problem with the boat? What if you have a problem with the boat and you're in like a little lifeboat, right? And one person's dying, like, would you finish them off and eat them?
Depends who it was. That's fair enough.
He's in the US
that
now.
question.
This is what's going on.
Oh,
These
it's
guys
gone.
are here to hell. Is that right?
So this is Don. He lives down
What are you
in
eating
San
then?
Diego, in
Real tasty ranch
California.
salad.
And I went to visit him after I moved to Ginger Island when I was in California. Back when I was allowed to be in America. True story. Anyway, so we're just coming to the end.
Now, Monday the 14th of December. Been here for 3 weeks.
Monday the
in Comoros,
14th of December.
waiting for a boat. I'm heading down to the port about 8 o'clock in the morning now. And I'm heading to the port.
Monday the
and just
14th.
hoping
I've got to
against
be.
all hope that there's a boat
I've got to
leaving
be in
today,
Egypt
but
without flying.
I'm looking
on
at the
the
port as we
31st.
drive towards it, and it's slim pickings indeed. Come back from the port, and the boat is leaving today. The Simicom is leaving today
Get
at
on
6
Simicom.
o'clock tonight.
Yes.
I'm so excited I could fart. It's okay.
There's a Friday Mosque there.
Okay, I've got my ticket for Dar es Salaam.
Stop doing that. Oh.
Oh, bugger, I've just realised I've put new tape in, but my battery's dead. So it's completely pointless buying a new bloody tape.
Why didn't you have a spare battery, Graham? There's the Friday Mosque. I'm guessing this is the last time we get to see it. Boat registered in Moroni. Look at the state of it.
Around, as we've been standing around for the last 4 hours, and we're just waiting for them to fill the boat up full of junk so then we can get on board. Kids.
Oh my goodness. Look at this. This is what I have to sleep on. I have to sleep on one of these benches. Nice. And the boat was dead noisy.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
baby.
And there was like cockroaches in your hair. Like when I woke up, I had to pick the cockroaches out of my hair. It was delightful. It's like something from a horror film.
Comoros isn't leaving till the morning, and this one's more comfortable. So we've spoken to the captain and the first mate. They've said it's okay. And look at this. I'm on. I've got 3 mattresses of foam underneath me. Yeah, this is going to be the most comfortable night's sleep I've had all fucking year.
December. We're still in port. We haven't left.
Oh God, I was on the boat.
Sensible,
I didn't
wasn't it?
leave.
So yeah, we're still here. Waiting.
Let me wait 3 weeks
Waiting.
to leave.
Waiting.
And
One
then
day I might leave
The boat
Comoros.
to stay there
One day.
overnight in port.
Fingers crossed.
1050, yes.
There's a couple of French people who are heading back to France.
Oh shit.
Like the
will be
guy's
our home
watch.
in
Come on, let's go!
Yeah.
Please tell me we're leaving.
Okay. Okay, I come back to Madagascar next year. Okay. Okay, will do. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you.
So next year you'll be.
I come back next year. Yeah, right, Graham, whatever. This is leaving Comoros, finally.
Bye. See ya. Woo!
Oh my God, magic. Absolutely magic. What a time. Gotta make a video of this, haven't I? I've got to edit this down and make something of it. It's got to be done. It's a ship that I was on. Check out all the junk. I wasn't joking that it was picking up. It was literally picking up junk.
Well, it's taken the best part of 3 weeks. Actually, it's taken more than 3 weeks. Well, it's taken more than 3 weeks, but we're finally leaving Comoros. Woohoo! And this guy here has got a Liverpool shirt on. Yes, Liverpool. Yeah.
This picture when I was just moving from Comoros to Dar es Salaam, was it?
Yeah. I'm going to show her. I'm going to show everyone.
That's fair.
I'm leaving.
If God wish you be coming with your wife in Dar es Salaam. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, turn the sound off. Right, so there you go. There you have it. That was my time in Comoros. Obviously, I skipped that forward a bit. If I had the time, I would have all these videos edited down so we could just sit there for like 20 minutes and just watch it. And yeah, one day when I find the time, I will go through all of my old tapes. Like I said, I've got something approaching 1,000 hours worth of footage from me in these countries around the world. That was 3 hours just in Comoros, one of the smallest countries in the world, and there's another like 200 odd countries in the world. Well, territories, places, destinations. So, but thank you for bearing with me on that. I hope I didn't skip through it too much for it to get irritating. But yeah, I just wanted to show you a few of my experiences. Funny Staff says, David, that animal looks like Boris after a party. Indeed. Okay, Pineapple Boy, before I go, I'd say Pineapple Boy says, Mayotte GDP, stroke capita 10,800. Comoros GDP per capita 1,350. Almost as if being in the EU is good for the economy. Indeed. First top of the world before your tape, says Pineapple Boy. Yeah. Well, look, if someone paid me to do this stuff, I could do it. But for like, imagine you've got a pastime. Imagine there's like, you know, putting together a jigsaw, and you're going to be spending like a year putting together a jigsaw, and you enjoy doing that jigsaw. That's great. But then you only do the jigsaw. You don't actually work because you don't have time to do anything else. You're just concentrating on the jigsaw. So you've got no income coming in. And very quickly, you realise that it's a bit rubbish having no money because you can't pay for anything. And then you starve. And then you die of exposure, as a lot of artists do. So, yeah, sorry, Pineapple Boy. Still, maybe if someone wants to find me a publishing deal through some of these contacts with, posh people. Just saying. Okay, so thank you for joining me for this edition of Hughes of the World, all about the islands of Comoros. I hope you know more about the place now, a little bit more, and got to experience them a little bit with me. And I will be back. I've got a new message. I can't read it. How many more countries before Cuba? I can't miss that. My favourite country. Well, Andrew, the next week I'm going to be talking about Congo, and then I've got Costa Rica, and then I've got Cuba's got to be coming soon. It's got to be. I've been on the seas since forever. Like when I took my break last year when I went off to Ginger, obviously I was in the seas. So I've been in the seas now for over 6 months. This is ridiculous. So I'm working my way through the seas, and eventually I will get there. Let's have a look. Just let me check on my alphabetical list of countries. Alphabetical list of countries. There you go. Thank you, Google. Thank you, Worldometers. Let's have a look. So, where are we? Cuba is coming up. So we've got Congo next week. Then we've got Costa Rica. Then we've got Croatia. That was the country that I couldn't remember. Croatia. And then we've got Cuba. Okay, so it's just in 4 weeks' time, we'll be doing Cuba. And then the week after that, we'll be doing Cyprus. And then finally, it's like you can't get out the Zs. Like there is literally a country that begins CY, and then Czechia, or the Czech Republic, comes and goes, we're going to be CZ. So yes, stay tuned for that. Also, which Congo? It's going to be Congo Brazzaville or the Republic of Congo, not Congo, not the Democratic Republic of Congo. It's going to be the Republic of Congo. So it's going to be the place where Brazzaville is the capital. That used to be a French colony, not the place where Kinshasa is the capital. That used to be a Belgian colony. So it's going to be the old French colony of Congo. It's where I got thrown in jail for the second time on my adventure around the world. I was put in jail for 6 days in Congo. So, yeah, I'll have fun reminiscing about that sparkling moment in my life. But there you go. Andrew, did you get the video of Itchy Boots biking in Boca del Toro I sent you? No, Andrew, I didn't get that. How did you send that to me? Yeah, you better send that again. Sorry. It's good to talk to people, says number 3. Are you calling it Côte d'Ivoire or Ivory Coast? John, I'm calling it Côte d'Ivoire. Oh shit, you're right. Sorry, didn't mean to swear. They should come after Costa Rica. Actually, they don't on the list of countries, so that's bad. That's bad list of countries on worldometers.info. You're giving me bad info. You're missing out countries like Cote d'Ivoire. Thank you very much for pointing that out. I'll try not to forget. But I will be doing it as Cote d'Ivoire because that's what they call themselves. And I will also probably be doing Timor-Leste instead of East Timor. How was the food in jail, Graham? I didn't have any. I went for 6 days without food when I was in jail in Congo. That's a lot of weight, which is nice. Also came up with a really good idea for an Indiana Jones movie, which I'll tell you all about next week when you join me for Hughes of the World, Congo style. Oh yes, it's going to be amazing. If you would like to join us on the Discord server, I'm going to head over there now, the new Discord server. And if you go to Hughes of the World quiz, and I will meet you in there in a couple of minutes' time. And if you want to come over there for a quick quiz, please do. And yes, on Facebook and in comments of last week's travel. Sorry, Andrew. I'll have to look that up on Facebook. Sorry, mate. I haven't actually seen it yet. Although you might have shown it to me and I might not have realised what it was or something. But if you can send me a message on Facebook, just send me a message with the video on link. That'll be good. Okay, so yeah, I think that's all the messages. I think really enjoyed it, mate, from Alex Green. Thank you very much. I enjoyed it too. So hopefully see you over on the Discord server. If not, what I'll say is next week, same time, same bat channel, same bat time, same bat channel. We'll be talking about Congo. And until then, fair winds and following seas, traveller. Oh yeah, that's a good point, Lee. And hit the like button. And thanks for watching. And thanks to my patrons. And thanks to my YouTube members. Blah.